Racing is an amazing sport, and the athletes that participate have been known to make huge amounts of money. So here are the 20 richest race car drivers ever. Ralph is the younger brother of Michael Schumacher, and the pair are the only siblings to have won Formula One races. With that, he's earned a net worth of $100 million. Today, he's probably best known for being a co-commentator for Sky Sport in Germany. However, he's been involved in some controversies when various animal rights activists accused him of hypocrisy. He's one of the most famous supporters of an organization that rescues and cares for needy and abandoned animals while being a passionate hunter who regularly hunts deer. Martin Brundle is best known for competing in Formula One, as seen in 1988 when he won the World Sports Car Championship with a record point score, and in 1990 when he won the 24-hour de Le Mans. Beyond racing, Brundle has worked as a commentator for television channels and has earned a net worth of $100 million. As a car extraordinaire and fanatic, his first exotic car was a Ferrari 328 GTS, which cost around $63,000 back then. He added other cars to his collection such as a Ferrari 355 GTB, a Ferrari 550 Maranello, and a Ferrari 599, and many more. With a net worth of $100 million, Jody Scheckter is best known for winning Formula One World Drivers' Championship in 1979, and having 10 wins in his career from 1972 to 1980. After competing in Formula One, Scheckter won the World Superstars competition in 1981. As a race car driver, you can bet he's got some pretty cool cars in his collection, like a Ferrari 312 T4, McLaren M23, McLaren M19, McLaren M21, and Porsche 917. Alexis de Joria competed in the National Hot Rod Association, the top fuel-funny car, earning him a net worth of over $100 million. However, drag racing is a competitive sport, and Alexis had her fair share of accidents. In 2012, when she got into a car accident at Englishtown, hitting a sand trap at 130 miles an hour, she went through 2 safety nets before stopping at the 4th row of sand-filled plastic barrels. Moreover, in 2016, her Camry slammed hard against a left retaining wall, leading to a high-energy fracture of her left pelvis. Luckily, none have actually left her with permanent damage. Prost is a 4-time Formula One drivers' champion. His 51 wins held the record for most Grand Prix victories from 1987 all the way to 2001. Alain was awarded the World Sports Award for the Century for the motorsports category in 1999 and has a net worth of over $100 million. In 2009, a Autosport survey taken by 217 Formula One drivers saw Prost voted as the 4th greatest Formula One driver of all time. His personal cars include a McLaren F1 prototype, which is pretty cool. Eddie Irvine got his first taste of the sport when his parents took him to the British Grand Prix as a child. He then went on to have a very prolific racing career with 148 races, 4 major wins, and a net worth of $120 million. Eddie said that he's always had a thing for cars, hence why he made it his profession, I bet. Unfortunately, he was the victim of a situation where his Ferrari 288 GTO worth $1.7 million was stolen. The car was later found in a garage, but police are still searching for the man who actually stole it. Mario is perhaps most famously known for being one of only 2 people to ever come in first places in races in Formula One, IndyCar, World Sport Car Championship, and NASCAR. He's also got a net worth of $130 million. He once had an accident while giving someone a ride in a specially designed 2-seat IndyCar for promotional events and ended up crashing his race car at Texas Motor Speedway, but thankfully he wasn't injured. Sebastian Vettel has driven for teams like BMW Sauber, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Aston Martin, having won 4 World Driver Championship titles consecutively from 2010 to 2013. He's also got a net worth of $140 million. Vettel holds the honor of being the youngest ever world champion, winning the champion at 23. A highly consistent performer, Sebastian has finished on the podium 122 times, which is actually more than any other F1 racer in history. He also holds the record for the most 3rd and 4th place finishes. He began competing in Formula One in 2000 and has driven for Williams, Benetton, Renault, Barr, Honda, Braun, GP, and McLaren. He drove for McLaren from 2010 to 17 when he retired from Formula One with a net worth of $150 million. His personal collection of cars is worth well over $1 million, including a McLaren MP4 12C, a 1970 VW Type 2 camper, and a super clean 1978 Ferrari 512BB, Ferrari Enzo, an Audi RS6 Avant, and a Ford GT. Jimmy Johnson competes in the NTT IndyCar Series and has a net worth of $150 million. Before this, he competed in the NASCAR Cup Series, winning 7 championships. He's also a 2-time winner of the Daytona 500. Jimmy earns $10 million per year from just endorsements alone, which is enough to make him the highest paid NASCAR driver in the world. Jimmy also owns a percentage of a Chevy dealership in San Diego that carries his name. Valentino Rossi is one of the most successful motorcycle racers of all time with a net worth of $200 million. He's won 9 Grand Prix World Championships, 7 of which are the premier class. While Romy might be a fantastic motorcycle racer, he's also run into some legal troubles. In 2007, he was accused by Italian tax authorities of not declaring $160 million of earnings between 2000 and 2004. He'd previously been investigated for tax evasion in 2002, unsuccessfully. However, in 2008, Rossi announced that they had settled the case for $41 million to avoid possible jail time. Niki Lauda has a net worth of about $200 million at the time of his death in 2019. And though he showed immense promise at a young age, he couldn't truly shine in Formula 1 until 1974. In 76, he suffered a near-fatal crash that left him permanently disfigured, and then he actually returned to racing 6 weeks after the crash, continuing to race for the rest of the season. Niki's injuries made it difficult for him to compete in races, but despite his injuries, he finished the season in second place, and the following year in first place. Jeff Gordon has a net worth of $200 million, and he's one of the highest paid NASCAR drivers of all time, with over $500 million in winnings and endorsements. He'd also had his fair share of scary moments on the track, such as his 2006 crash at Pocono Raceway. The accident occurred after his car's brakes gave out, and the vehicle spun around to the driver's side, hitting the wall first in turn 1. He made it through that situation, but that wasn't his last incident. Connie Kalita is an American executive and former drag racer who has a net worth of $200 million. He began drag racing in the 50s and earned the Bounty Hunter nickname. Connie, however, experienced some loss of his own when his son Scott died in a car crash. He lost his life in a top-end accident at Old Bridge Township Raceway Park while driving his DHL-sponsored Nitro Funny car on a Saturday. Raikkonen is the most successful Finnish Formula 1 racer ever and has won 21 Grand Prix as of 2020. Kimi was one of the highest paid athletes globally, earning over $250 million. Yeah, he's raced for Formula 1 teams, and a lot of them, but he's experienced the most success with Ferrari. Outside of Formula 1, Kimi has participated in a wide range of other motorsports events. Some of the cars in his collection include a Ferrari 488, Ferrari F12, Ferrari Enzo, Lotus Evora S, and a Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge, with the last being worth over $150,000 in itself. Fernando Alonso has raced in Formula 1 for Alpine, Renault, and McLaren and has accumulated a net worth of $260 million. In 2005 and 2006, he won the Drivers' Championship, making him the youngest world champion in the sport's history. When he retired, Alonso had won 32 Formula 1 races and notched 22 pole positions. Among his cars is a Ferrari 488 Italia and a Ferrari California and a custom-made Ferrari 599 GTB Fernando Alonso edition. Lewis Hamilton races for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 team and has a net worth of $285 million. Hamilton is widely regarded as one of the greatest drivers in sports history, and he's got a lot of cars in his personal collection, including Mercedes-AMG 1, Mercedes-Benz, AMG G66X6, McLaren P1, Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, Ferrari LaFerrari, and a Pagani Zonda 760LH that he sold. As a NASCAR team owner, author, and analyst for NBC's NASCAR coverage, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has worth of $300 million. Racing's been a family business for 3 generations for him. Dale is the son of the late, great NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Sr. In 2019, he, his wife Amy, and their daughter Isla were on their Cessna plane when it crashed. 3 passengers sustained minor injuries, but the family was fine. The Cessna crashed through a chain-link fence and ended up on the side of the Tennessee Highway in 91. Michael Schumacher is just one of a handful of athletes who've earned more than $1 billion during their career, and he's currently made a net worth of $600 million. He made $80 to $100 million per year, earning $10 million a year only to wear a shell hat during public appearances. Michael's career was cut short after a skiing accident in 2013 of December that left him with a very traumatic brain injury. He hit his head on a rock and suffered severe injuries despite wearing a ski helmet. Eddie Jordan is an Irish former racing driver and a business guru who's got a net worth of $600 million. Eddie Jordan attained his net worth by being the founder and owner of the Jordan Grand Prix. He's currently the lead analyst for F1 coverage on the BBC. His main base is in Ireland, but where he keeps his private helicopter, but he's also got homes in Wentworth, South Kensington, London, and Monaco. But that's also Monaco's where he keeps his yacht. That wraps it up, and hope you enjoyed this video.